Master.
Hi everyone, Master here with a review of the Crusader Spirit variants. The Spirit ships are sleek, medium-sized multi-crew ships consisting of 3 variants. There's the A1 bomber, the C1 cargo ship, and the E1 passenger transport. Currently only the A1 and C1 variants are flyable. The E1 is waiting for passenger gameplay before it releases. They all have the same dimensions at 47.5 meters long, 44 meters wide, and 10 meters high. They are wider than smaller ships like the Freelancer or Cutlass and similar sized to the upcoming Zeus Mark II ships. Crew for all variants is 1 to 2, although the E1 may possibly carry extra crew temporarily to assist passengers. There are 2 seats up front for the pilot and co-pilot. Pilot view is fairly decent with excellent horizontal angles and upwards view. Looking down though is blocked by the dashboard. There are 2 MFDs for the pilot and 2 for the co-pilot, with a central console sitting between the 2 seats with some controls. Behind the pilot and co-pilot seats are the living quarters for the crew, although there is no door separating the pilot seats and the living quarters. There are 2 beds that double as escape pods. Of course, the escape pods don't work right now. They each have a personal screen and personal lighting for the beds. There is personal gear stowage above each bed. The C1 carries a total gear stowage of 2,460K micro-SCU, while the A1 can carry 1,850K micro-SCU. Behind the beds on the starboard side is a bathroom with a sink and shower. You can activate a toilet in the bathroom here. There is a small kitchenette next to the bathroom with 2 small cubbies to store food or drinks in it. On the other side of the room are 2 spots to store suits. Between them is a gun rack with space to store 2 guns. After the living quarters is a small section for components with airlock doors. There are 4 component access points here for gravity, life support, and others, with some missing components for now. The rear of the ship is divided between a large central section and then a rear loading section with another airlock door. The loading section has more component access and a rear ramp. The ramp itself is quite large, so there are warning lights to show where it'll open out to. The main rear section of the Spirit series is what differs between variants. The C1 has a large cargo section in this area with space for 64 SCU of cargo. The C1 can carry quite a few ground vehicles such as the Drake Mule, the Tumbril Cyclone, the Greycat Rock, the STV and PTV, as well as all hover vehicles and the new ATLS mech. You can even fit a Mirai Fury in the cargo bay too. The A1 variant carries 10 size 5 Stormburst bombs in the cargo section that drop out from the bottom of the floor. This prevents the player from putting any serious cargo or vehicles in the A1, but you can fit smaller unsecured cargo or smaller vehicles in the loading section. You can just barely fit a Tumbril Cyclone in the rear, but anything smaller will fit just fine, such as the Drake Mule, Greycat Rock, Greycat STV, Argo ATLS, or any hover vehicles. Without the cargo grid, the cargo or vehicles may move around a bit though, so watch out. The E1 variant replaces the cargo section with 6 private cubicles for passengers on a second floor accessible by what might be a small elevator. The cubicles all have individual windows, seats, and computer screens. The windows reach up to cover the roof of this passenger section, so you can see the sky above while flying. In front of the passenger section is an area to mix drinks. On the bottom floor of this section is a bathroom for the guests as well as a special cargo section with lockers for passenger gear storage. We don't know how much passenger gear storage or cargo storage there will be yet. Since the E1 isn't flyable yet, we also can't tell if you can fit any vehicles in the loading section of the ship, but small hover vehicles or the Greycat STV should probably fit there. The Spirit series all currently have a single size 2 shield, the type of which varies between variants, but generally is a military Class C shield. The Spirit variants also have a larger hull health than most other multi-crew ships this size, although that could be split between hull and armor strength in the future. They all have a single size 3 hydrogen fuel tank and a size 3 quantum fuel tank, which means they can fly a very long distance before refueling. The quantum drive is a size 2 drive, so they can quantum travel fairly fast. The SCM speed for all variants is 203 meters a second and max speed is 1,130 meters a second, which makes the ship faster than similar medium ships like the Freelancer or Cutlass Black. The larger size does make them less maneuverable than any fighter and about on par with similarly sized freighters. They also have very wide wings, so they have a tendency to get scratched in hangars or in combat. The Spirits do have VTOL engines to help take off from planets with gravity. For weapons, the Spirit series have a turret under the nose with dual size 3 laser cannons, and then another gimbal size 3 laser cannon on each wing. For pilot control, size 3 weapons is about on par to a Freelancer or a Cutlass. The A1 and E1 also have a remote turret on top with dual-size 2 guns controlled by the co-pilot. This turret has a pretty good 360-degree view on top. The turret can also be deployed from the front to the rear of the ship to protect against rear or lower attacks. It won't do tons of damage, but should keep fighters off your back. You may also be able to use it to strafe ground targets while flying when deployed in the rear. The C1 replaces the combat turret with a tractor beam turret that is very good for loading and unloading cargo boxes or vehicles from the ship. It's one of the best tractor beam turrets in the game so far, but it does mean you have less defenses. The Spirit series also have 2 size 4 missile hardpoints under the hull of the ship. They arrive by default with dual size 3 launchers each, for a total of 4 size 3 missiles, but the missile launchers can be changed out to carry 8 size 1 missiles, 4 size 2 missiles, or single size 4 missiles each instead. It may not be as many missiles as a Freelancer or Cutlass, but they are decent enough for combat. The Spirit A1 also has 10 size 5 bombs. They are gravity bombs, so they require a target with gravity, so they only work on planets or moons. The bombs are quite powerful and will destroy smaller ships with a single hit. Larger ships may be able to withstand a hit, but not multiple attacks. It is unclear if launching the bombs loses air in this section, so it's recommended you wear an undersuit and helmet if you're in the room when the bombs drop, once life support is implemented. The Spirit series are all time-limited sales ships, only available at certain times of the year. The C1 goes for $125, the E1 for $150, and the A1 for $200. You can buy the A1 and C1 in-game at the Orison Crusader showroom for $4.9 million and $3.1 million UEC respectively. The C1 can also be rented at Area 18, Orison, and New Babbage in the rental kiosks. The E1 is not available for sale in-game as it's not flyable in-game yet either. The Spirit ships all have a ton of paints to grab. The C1 has a white and gray paint with blue accents, the A1 is all gray, while the E1 is white and gray with red accents. You can buy the white, gray, and red Allegiant paint, the yellow and black Radiant paint, the two-tone gray Resolute paint, the red and gray Allegiant paint, the blue and white Stalwart paint, and the gray and blue Valor paint. Concierge can also get the military green Intrepid paint and the gray and gold Olympia paint. There is also the Best in Show paint releasing for the owners of the Spirit C1 this year for IAE, so keep an eye on it. Possibly a purple or blue color. The Crusader Spirit line is designed for small multi-crew functions. They're not as large as the Hercules or Mercury Star Runner, but are very functional with a crew of 2. They are also easily flown by a single player if necessary, but you lose access to the turret if you do. They are fast, maneuverable, and have very long-range fuel tanks. The different variants allow you to specialize on various features, but the ships can be used for multiple purposes. The C1 is great for cargo runs, but could also be used for piracy or salvage with a tractor beam and weapons. The long-range tanks mean the ships can travel far to pick up or drop off cargo, including in dangerous space like Pyro. The tractor beam also allows it to be used to load other ships, so you can call it a mobile longshoreman as well. You can also load seats in the cargo bay and use it as a cheap personal transport. The C1 can also be used as a vehicle transport for mining or exploration, or to drop troops in combat zones. The weapons can also be used to clear the landing zone before landing. The C1 can also work for blockade running, but make sure to get fighter support. Next, the A1 variant is of course perfect for destroying ground targets and clearing landing zones. It can be used as a bomber or gunship. The 4 pilot guns, the remote turret, and the missiles can all help clear points of interest for other ships to land at, such as Jump Town, underground bunkers, and the larger facilities too. The bombs can take out ground-based turrets, ground vehicles, infantry, and any ships sitting on the ground. The bombs don't work in space though, so they are strictly for planetary objects only. This limits the A1 to guns and missiles when off-planet. The E1 variant will of course be perfect for carrying passengers and allow you to make some money from it. This could go from regular transport, luxury transport, and even tourism. If you can load hover vehicles on the ship, then tourists could roam around a location for a bit and then return to the ship. You might need the co-pilot or extra crew to help manage the passengers in flight. I'm guessing the E1 will have to have improved life support to hold that many people on the ship for that long. The E1 could also be used for dropping off troops for combat, rescuing people in battle, or carrying VIPs into or from dangerous space. The high-speed, turret up top, and front guns could help deter enemy ships or blockades, but it might need some help from any serious opposition. The 3 variants are great for orgs to use in many different roles, so they shouldn't be considered just solo ships. You could have fleets of spirits working together with other ships to perform combat, transport, rescue, or gunship operations. There are a few drawbacks of the Spirit series. They are fast but not as agile as fighters, so don't get them into combat with any nimble ships without support. They currently only have a single size 2 shield, which won't hold up too long against weapons fired. The extra armor and hull strength may help, but it's best to have a wingman when in combat to cover the vulnerable spots rear and below the ship. Make sure to have someone running the turret on the A1 and E1 when in combat. The wings are also very large, so they tend to hit objects and get damaged. That's especially bad since the VTOL engines are right at the ends of the wings, so you could lose vertical takeoff or landing in that case. There is also no forward exit for the crew or docking ports, so the Spirit series cannot dock with space stations or other ships if there is fire or attack from the rear. The crew in front will be trapped. In the future, the escape pods may help for that, but for now it would be a death sentence. There is a known issue by Crusader for Spirit and Mercury Starrunner series, where they don't have a front entrance. Maybe that may change in the future, but I don't know. Aside from those issues, the Spirit series are fast and aesthetically pleasing ships. They're fairly tough and very long range. The C1 in particular is very multi-purpose, so these ships are very good all around for players to get. There may be a bit of competition with the new RSI Zeus Mark II ships releasing soon, but I bet the Spirit ships will be a lot faster, better armed, longer range, and require less crew to run than the Zeus ships, so they will still be competitive in my opinion. The Zeus ships instead will probably have more shielding and be a little bit more durable. Alright, so that's it for this brief review of the Crusader Spirit variants. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. You can use my referral code if you decide to jump into Star Citizen, and you'll get 5,000 extra in-game credits. Here's a big thank you to my current patrons. Please check out my Patreon membership to help me make more videos. All patrons and members will have their names listed at the end of my videos, and get access to my Discord channel. Patrons and members also have their first pick on the next item I'll cover, so feel free to sign up and let me know what you'd like to see next. Okay, catch you all next time.